From Stash to Webull to Robinhood, there's just a lot of different investment apps, but which one are the best? Especially if you're getting started or you're trying to make that next pivot to take your investments to the next level. Today, we're going over the top investment apps for 2021. I asked you a long time ago on the community tab, what is your favorite investment app? And surprisingly, at least for me, I thought, well, maybe Fidelity will win or something like that. But no, the top investment apps ranked by you, the community, Robinhood, Webull, Stash, Fidelity, and M1 Finance in that order. But today I want to break it down for you, especially if you're looking for the best investment app to use. First and foremost, a little disclaimer. I do not do reviews on things that I have not already used, and that includes a video like this. I'm not going to say the best investment app is some hodunk investment app from who knows where that makes no sense. Because if I have not tried it, if I have not actually experienced it, who am I to tell you it's any good or not? That would be stupid. So the ones that I'm talking about today are ones that you guys have asked me about, that I have put to the test over the last couple months, even the last couple years. So here we go. First off, we're going to talk about beginner apps, ones that get you kind of started off in your investment journey. This could be really good for those people that have just turned 18 or don't have a lot of income or a little bit worried about the stock market and just want to take it a step at a time. And then we'll look at some more, I would say, intermediate to advanced. Those apps that let you scale up. And as you continue to learn and grow in the stock market, you make a little bit more money, you can really scale up your investments with those apps. So let's start with the beginner apps. These are the best apps for beginners and especially for those people that are just starting off. Stash and M1 Finance. I use both of them. I'm going to start with Stash. Now, there's a pro and a con to both of these, and I want to break down what works best for you. Here we are first on the Stash app. Now the Stash app, you can see I have a $4,100 portfolio as of the recording of this video. And really, this is an easy way to just set and forget. The best thing I would recommend you do when it comes down to this type of app is to focus on something that you can cut down on your budget. This is why it's a beginner app and this is why I think it's effective. Let's say you find something in your budget you don't need anymore. So instead of spending that $10 a week on whatever you're spending, you take that $10 and you automatically invest it here on Stash. It makes it super easy. You can literally click on automated investments and then all you got to do is hit your set schedule and let it know how often you want to invest. Now, right now, you can see I only invest $4 a month, and that's because I'm investing in a ton of other apps as well. So I got my money moving all kinds of places. But let's say you had $10 a week that you could invest in Stash. Literally, you take that, it will withdraw from your bank account on whatever day is best for you, and to whatever amount you want it to take out of your account. It'll then take that and invest it into whatever ETF or single stock that you're interested in investing in. And Stash makes it easy to understand. If you're not too sure about all the stocks and how to understand them, and you're a little bit worried, you could literally go into their search companies, and then you can go into this, click on ETFs, and then based on what you're most interested in, you can find a list of very easy to understand companies to invest in. So for example, let's say you're interested in, let's say technology and innovation. You tap on that, and then it kind of gives you some opportunities. These are ETFs, which means that they have a variety of different individual stocks within one particular exchange traded fund. Don't let that jack you up. It's just a point of what are you most interested in. So you can look through, like let's say you're interested in robots. You can click on that. It gives you a very brief summary of what it's all about. And if you're interested in doing it, you can hit buy and set it on an automatic investment. Let's hop over to M1 Finance. Very similar in the fact that you can automate your investments. Maybe it's $10, $20, $30 a week if you want to, or you can just transfer money in when you have the chance to do so. And they base it around a pie methodology. Now, to make it easier for beginners, you can hop over to this research tab located at the bottom of your app. And then right here, you can click on Expert Pies. Click on Expert Pies, and then very similar to Stash, it has different opportunities that you can click on based on what you're most interested in doing. Do you want income, such as dividends? Do you want to plan for retirement? Do you want to look at stocks and bonds? You can click on these and invest in their pies, and you can set that cadence on how often it'll transfer out of your account to whatever works best for you. Let's talk about the pros and cons of Stash and M1 before we move on to the next best investment apps for intermediate users. Now with Stash and M1, I would say the pro to M1 Finance right over here is the fact that it has zero fees to download and use the app. You can literally go onto the App Store or the Google Play Store, download the app, and use the app for free. They don't charge you anything. In fact, there's a link to all these investment apps in the description below. Some of them offer you free stocks and some beginner money to get started, but you can check that out. I do earn a small affiliate commission on anything that you click, but it's up to you if you want to do that. Stash, on the other hand, unlike M1 Finance, is not free to use. Depending on the level that you select, let's say you want to just start off as a beginner just like you would with M1 Finance, they're going to charge you at the recording of this video $1 a month. So yes, for my $4,000 portfolio that you saw a little bit earlier, I spend $1 a month for Stash. I consider that a big con of Stash. So the pro of M1 is the con of Stash. I would say maybe we'll call it a con, but I'll say it's a cautionary thing for both of these apps is that they have limited trading windows. M1 Finance, the free version, only has one trading window, which occurs every day that the stock market's open at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Stash, on the other hand, has 4 trading windows. Now, keep in mind, these are for beginners. So what they're looking at are people that aren't going to day trade, people that aren't going to get in on a hype stock and try to quickly sell it before it dips in price. This is for the long-term holders. These are for the people that want to build their portfolio over a long period of time. I started with only $958 or something like that with Stash. You could see it earlier when I was going through that. It told you how much money I've transferred in the app so far. That's a significant increase from going from $900 all the way up to $4,000. But remember, Stash is all about the long-term hold. When I buy stuff in Stash, I rarely, if ever, sell it. I hold on for the long term. Same thing with M1 Finance. These are meant for those investors that aren't hurrying to get in or out of the stock market. So if that sounds like something that you don't like, that you want to be able to buy and sell at your will, these two may not work out for you, but just stay tuned. I got 2 more awesome investment apps on the way. Another con that M1 Finance has that you need to be aware of is the fact that they do say that you need to have a minimum of $100 to start investing. So they don't give you the option to just transfer 10 bucks in right off the bat. You have to transfer your first transfer of $100 to get started. Then after that, any other transfer moving forward would be a minimum of $10. So that might be something that you may not like. Whereas with Stash, I can transfer $4, I can transfer $1, I can transfer $5 as of the recording of this video, and everything is fine. But M1 Finance requires a little bit more when you transfer in, something that you need to keep in mind. So those two, for beginners, easy to use, easy to get in, and one is free to use and one is $1 a month to use. You could also scale those up if you want to add retirement accounts to them. They offer different checking accounts and debit cards and all the frivolous add-ons, but just keep in mind some of those things do come with extra fees. Let's move on to my next favorite apps. And this one's interesting too. I've done videos on these many times, but we're going to talk about both of them, and I'll start with the most controversial one that everybody seems to be a little bit concerned about, and then I'm going to talk about my opinion yet again on this app, and that is the famed Robinhood app. Now, Robinhood, my friend, has been that app that has been focused on what they call democratizing finance. This is the app that started getting rid of commissions. Now, how they make their money is they do route order flow through different companies that pay them. They also have upgrade options, such as their Robinhood Gold account that you can buy into if you're interested in. I only use this for free. You can see my current value at $1,170. This one I trade anywhere from about $5 to $10 a week on an automatic investment into Robinhood. But here's the big difference on this one compared to the earlier beginner apps. This one is a little bit more tricky to use because you can get quickly overwhelmed. For example, you come in here and you can search and do a lot more of your research on Robinhood. So for example, you see Apple on a 1 week, 1 month, 3 month. This is the graphical price chart that you're looking at. And then it has all the different stats that are important when researching a stock. What is their price? What is their volume? What is their market cap? What is the PE ratio and everything in between? It is a little bit easier to use than some of the investment apps. So a lot of people usually graduate from a Stash to something like a Robinhood. But just keep in mind that it can be a little bit of a jump if you're just getting right into this and you're not too sure where to turn. What do I invest in first? How do I do that? One could easily hop over here to this main search screen and say, okay, let me look here. Daily movers. I'm going to tap on that. And wow, look at this one. Wish. up 52%. Look at Wendy's, up 25%. And they just invest the money into that. Well, the problem with that is you sometimes see these stocks that maybe are up on a short squeeze or up on some type of rally that all of a sudden crash back down. And then what happens is the beginner gets into this and they get depressed and they think that the investment app is out to get them. When in case it's really not. You just got to do better research. Link up above to my 10 smart steps I use when analyzing individual stocks before I hit buy. Just because it looks like it's moving up high on a price does not mean it's a stable company for the long term. But what I like about Robinhood is 1, it's free to use. 2, commission-free trades. And it gives you a free stock simply just for signing up on the app and creating your account. And that stock is valued between $2.50 all the way up to $200. So that could be a good way to get a free app, download it, create an account, all for free, and then get yourself a free stock. Sure, you could get the $2.50 one and oh well, but hey, it's $2.50 you didn't have before. But look, I have never had a problem with them. I've transferred money in, I've transferred money out, I've done everything when it comes down to this app, and I've really enjoyed it. And I haven't paid anything. I don't pay fees. I don't like paying money. So the fact that this stuff is free to download and it offers commission-free trades, pretty darn cool. The other pros I like about Robinhood, beyond the free stocks and all the other stuff, is the fact that they offer fractional shares. Now, of course, M1 Finance and Stash does as well, but remember, Stash is a $1 per month fee. M1 Finance is a little bit more of a longer term hold and has only one trading window, whereas Robinhood lets you trade during the stock market hours. Anytime the stock market's open, Robinhood's there for you. And they offer fractional shares, which means, let's say, for example, you want to buy a share of Amazon. Well, Amazon's going for like $3,000 a share. So if you wanted to buy a full share of Amazon, would have to put up $3,000. And you might not have that right away. Let's say you only want to buy $10 worth of Amazon stock. Robinhood lets you do that. By transferring $10 in, you could take that $10 and put it right into Amazon stock. Now, of course, you won't get a full share. You'll get like 0.0, whatever the fraction of that $10 is. But as the price moves up and down, your $10 will move along with that based on the fraction of the share that you own. That's what makes Robinhood cool. You could start with maybe $10 a week, invest in your favorite stocks or ETFs, and watch it grow and rise with the market through time. Which brings me to my 4th best investment app for 2021, and that is Webull. So Webull has been an interesting one because a lot of people talk about it all the time. And they talk about the free stocks that they offer and everything else. What makes Webull so different from Robinhood? Well, I did a video back in October of 2020, and I did Webull versus Robinhood. And back then, they were quite different. But funny enough, those guys have been competing strong. And through time, they now have become a little bit more of the same thing. They offer the same type of deals. They offer sometimes more benefits than others, but they have become quite similar. But here's what I've got in Webull. This is my largest portfolio outside of my big Schwab account at $16,000 currently. And this one is one that I focus a lot on dividend paying ETFs and stocks and a few other things. But with my portfolio on Webull, I have done probably the most of my trading currently, I'd say in the last 3 months with this particular app. Here's why I like this one. It's free to download the app, commission-free trades, and they give you free stocks just like Robinhood. So again, you go from beginner, maybe you're paying $1 a month in Stash, and maybe you want to move over to a more advanced app. Now you got to decide, do you want to do Robinhood or Webull? That's up to you. I'd say they're both really good ones, but it's up to you which one you want to do. But the nice thing about Webull is that they've recently upgraded their platform. It just looks so much better than when they first launched their app. They not only offer stock trading, they also offer cryptocurrency if you're interested in that, just like Robinhood. They also offer immediate trades, just like Robinhood. They don't have trading windows or anything like that. So when you want to buy and sell, you can certainly do that. And the best part is once you do hit that $25,000 portfolio value, no upgrade required, you can then day trade as much as you want. There is an actual law against that. You can't day trade if you have a portfolio value under $25,000. But the nice thing is they tell you right here on the right-hand side how many day trades you have left. Now, I'm not a big day trader. Never have been, and I probably never will be. But if that's something that's interesting to you, to be able to buy and sell a stock in the same day, Webull might be something to check out. Now, Webull does offer fractional shares. When I first did that video on Webull versus Robinhood, they did not, but they have stepped up the game. Just introduced that they're going to be offering fractional shares as well. The only difference between Webull and Robinhood at this time is that Robinhood allows fractional shares with a minimum of $1 invested. So you could take $1 and invest it into Amazon, but with Webull, you got to have a minimum of $5. So you can't just put $1 into a stock. You got to have a minimum of $5 in order to execute a fractional share on that particular app. So that's just something to keep in mind. They also, and it could be because they're young, so you got to get in on Webull pretty darn early, because you never know how long, as they continue to grow their market share, that they'll offer this kind of deal. But they tend to have the best opportunities for promotions. Robinhood typically will give you a stock, like I mentioned earlier, but Webull will give you sometimes up to 4 free stocks, even more, depending on the promotion that they're running. So click the link down below in the description, hop over to Webull and see what it's offering you. Sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 4, sometimes it's more. Now you might be like, well, which one should I just do? Just cut to the chase. Which app should I get? I laid out the beginner apps, and there are 2 of them, and then the more immediate and advanced apps, which are the other 2. What you could do is decide, I don't want to pay any money to own an app. I want something that I can scale up in the future as I continue to learn, and I want to get free stocks. Well, then you know kind of where I'm leaning here. I'm leaning toward either Robinhood or Webull, because they offer that scalability. Unlike Stash, you don't have to pay money to invest in those apps. Now, the reason I have Stash is because that was kind of how I got started, and I still pay that $1 a month, but if I had the choice, I probably wouldn't want to do that anymore, but I don't want to transfer my money out right now, so I'm just letting it sit there. But if I'd be starting now, I'd probably want to lean more towards something with scalability that's free. Because as I learn and as I continue to grow, then I can scale up and say, okay, now I know a little bit more about investing. How can I apply it to my Webull account? How can I apply it to Robinhood? Now, there's a lot of investment apps out there, but the point is, get started today with something that you feel most comfortable with. I wish I would have got started with investments back when I was 18 years old. Because if I would have started at 18 years old and I would have invested only $5 a week into any one of these 4 best investment apps of 2021 that I just talked about, my God, I'd be so much further ahead today than where I am. But instead, no, I was blowing my money on beer, alcohol, games, new cars, house debt, and everything in between. And I wish I would have just been a little bit smarter. So if you're watching this and you're younger, do it for yourself. Just start today and let yourself scale up over time. Get yourself free stocks. Nah, don't say that again. That's the biggest thing I would say to my 18-year-old self. Don't be dumb. You can still have fun, but find freaking $10 a week and just figure it out. Figure out a way to just put $10 into one of these bloody apps and do it. Now, granted, I know when I was 18, I still had to pay that dang Charles Schwab brokerage fee, commission free. Wait. Now I know when I was 18, I still had those stupid commissions and stuff like that of $9. But if I was 18 and these apps existed when I was 18, I would have been shaking myself right now. Do it now, now. So do it. That's the best advice I could give you. Just start today. If you have questions, comment below. Remember, I know there's a lot of investment apps out there, but I have to personally use it in order to give my opinion on it. I'm not going to try to sell you on an app that I haven't personally used, because I find that just to be a little bit sketchy. It doesn't make sense. I'm not out to make a dollar. I'm out to make sure that I understand what I'm doing and that I'm recommending something that I have personally used and giving you the pros and the cons of that particular app. So feel free, if you have other apps you want me to check out, you can comment below. But it does take me time, because I not only have to get into the app, I need to learn it, understand it, and put it through my ringer and make sure it actually is worthwhile. But until next time, here's some other videos that may help you with your personal finance, and we'll see you on the next video.